Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Mozz's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk a little bit about enthusiasm and how it can often feel like it's quite hard to talk about the things that you're really enthusiastic about because you feel like you're just boring everybody because you're into these really boring things, and then you kind of get yourself wondering, oh god, am I really boring? Am I just like this just downer that just gets everyone down and all that kind of stuff, right? And it's easy to get in your own head about that kind of thing. But it's very, fuck that, hang on. Hey up everybody. Hey up everybody. My name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Mozz's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk a little bit about enthusiasm and how it can often feel like if you're trying to be too enthusiastic about something that it can kind of turn people off. But that's all stuff that's in the head, that's in your own brain, your own catastrophizing and that kind of thing, right? You're not really bringing... Oh, this isn't working, I don't like this. No, hang on, I can do a better one. Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Mozz's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk a little bit about cynicism and how I think that we as a people should try and actively work to reduce cynicism within ourselves for the betterment of the world in general, because no one likes a Debbie Downer, no one likes someone that just is cynical all the time. But obviously there is a reason that people are cynical, right? Because there are a lot of problems out there in the world. I don't think I need to go and list them all off. Whatever part of the world you're from, there's problems going on there. Whatever it is that you care about, there's problems involved with that thing that you care about. There's problems on a small scale from a council level in terms of politics, right up to the top. There's problems within the film industry, there's problems within like general art, there's problems all over the place. There's like gossip, which is problems within just individual people, right? There's problems all over the place, right? And it can be very easy to let those problems get on top of you, right? But at the same time, nobody likes someone who focuses on the negative rather than someone that just is trying to see the best in people. Obviously you can go too far the other way and become unbearable with just how much you're going on about like how brilliant the world is, right? That can get irritating as well because it can feel like that's a phony person who's just pretending like the world is all fine, sunshine and rainbows when it really isn't, right? So you need to try and come to some kind of balance, because no one likes a Debbie Downer, right? But at the same time, you don't want to change yourself for the purposes of other people. You want to change yourself for the purposes of benefiting yourself, right? So if you find that you're a bit too cynical, right? Which in Britain, I feel like a lot of us suffer from being too cynical because it's kind of ingrained into us with the kind of media that's kind of, the British media, a lot of it is very cynical by nature. A lot of our comedy is incredibly cynical and sardonic and sarcastic and very dry. And it's very easy to let that become a personality, the same way that, you see a lot of like husbands and dads and stuff that, because they've grown up on, all the usual sitcom incompetent dads, right? Even though they know that that's just a character and that they shouldn't be like that, because they've watched so much of it and they've taken in so much of it, they naturally become a little bit like that. They fit into the stereotypes of the thing that they have been watching for so long, because these are their, I guess, not necessarily their role models, but just the thing that they're exposed to, just their roles, right? So you take in what's going on with your surroundings, right? And for the past sort of 40 years, right, in sitcoms and in media in general, right, dads have been sort of portrayed as just being kind of incompetent idiots, and the mum is the one that has to solve everything. And that ends up, obviously they did that because that was a representation of what the writers saw as being reality, right? But I feel like as they wrote it more and more, it became more and more the real thing, right? It's very easy to, get yourself down and to get yourself too, I don't know. This just isn't working, is it? Fuck. Oh, god damn it. Okay. Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Mozz's Lessons in Confidence. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about being cynical, right? because I'm quite a cynical person, sort of, not necessarily deep down I'm a cynical person, but I think more towards the surface I'm a cynical person, right? I tend to, see the problems in the world, right? And I tend to try and solve the problems in the world. And it's very easy to get yourself in that mindset of just walking around, seeing the issues and things and trying to fix those things. I remember about 5 years ago, this just, it happened many, many times, but this is just the example that stuck with me the most. I remember I was waiting for a bus and the bus was taking a while to get there. I was waiting at this bus stop for like half an hour, right? And in that half an hour, I was looking around and I was in like a really dire part of London. It was a right shithole, right? And I was looking around, right? Tower block right in front of me with a Tesco Express underneath it, right? A dodgy looking Solicitors was next to it. And then there was a big pile of garbage and like bins and stuff all along a wall, and there was just like trash just piled up in front of them as well. And then you go on to the other side and you had a gentrified kind of shopping plaza, which had your Ladbrokes, your Paddy Powers, your charity shops and a cash converters, right? And maybe like a small, not a Sainsbury's local, but like a small Sainsbury's, right? Where it's a full-size Sainsbury's, but it's a smaller version, right? And it was one of those where like the ceiling panels were kind of falling down and that kind of thing, and there was a drip coming from the ceiling in the fruit aisle, right? And I saw that through the window, and like the staff in there looked fucking miserable, and the staff everywhere, like everyone looked sad. No one looked like they wanted to be there. Like no one looked like they were having a good time, right? And I was looking around and I was thinking, how could I fix this? And that got me thinking of like, well, I need to first fix like kind of the overbearing issues with, wealth inequality and that kind of thing, to raise money to be used for investing into our infrastructure. And if we can invest more into our infrastructure, then we can start to reap the fruits of, the productivity increase that comes from, more infrastructure being built. The same way, if you build a train line, people use the train line, which means that more people are going more places. More people going more places mean that people spend money in places they didn't before, which means that more areas get money, which means that more areas are ending up able to be developed. And the more that things are able to develop, the more that whole cycle can continue, because the more that somewhere develops, the more reason that someone has to go to a place, right? So I was looking around at this place and thinking, what this place needs is like a theatre or a cinema or something, some reason that anyone that doesn't live 5 minutes from here would come here, right? The only reason that I was there was because I was visiting a mate, right? There should be a reason that I should go there just for the sake of being there, not because I need to go there so that I can meet a certain person, or so that I can go to work, or so that I can get from one place to the other, a light, right? There should be a reason for these things, right? So I'm walking around sort of cynical, looking at this stuff, thinking, what could I do to fix this, right? And at a certain point, I realized, this isn't my problem. Why should I have to sit there and bear some sense of responsibility for the fact that this place is a shithole? It's not my problem. It's not my fault that it's like that, right? So I was sitting there, kind of getting myself down, trying to come up with solutions, and none of the solutions felt like they were really working. Nothing felt like it was gonna, actually do the job. And I was sitting there going, what could I actually do to make this place better? And I was really struggling to think of something, and I couldn't come to any kind of conclusion on what that should be, what I should do to actually make this place better. And I realized that because it's getting me down, right? Why am I dwelling on this thing that, one, I can't control, and two, is bringing me down, right? And three, it doesn't matter to me, right? And that can apply to many, many things. You see a lot of people in like Facebook comment sections getting outraged about bullshit that doesn't matter to them. You see a lot of people that are just getting themselves worked up about, stuff that they can't fix or can't solve and can't do anything about, right? And even if they could do so, like, sure, you could donate £5 to some random charity that might do something about it. And, even disregarding the fact that there's obviously some kind of level of corruption within various charities and things, and not all the money is going to go to the cause. Even if like 50% of it goes, that's 50% of £5, that's £2.50, and that's even being optimistic, right? So you've just sent £2.50 to some problem somewhere to get that solved. What's that £2.50 going to do? What would you do with £2.50, right? If you found £2.50 just on the side of the road, what would you do with it? I would probably go to Tesco's and buy, like, I don't know, bit of food, maybe, get some, it would probably get you, a jar of pasta sauce and some pasta, right? And it would probably pay for the heating for, the hob. So you basically got yourself a free pasta meal, right? Okay, maybe you could pay for a pasta meal for someone in Botswana, right? But at the same time, what, am I just going to keep doing that? How many people are in Botswana? Like 5 million? So I need to do that 5 million times. And sure, all of us coming together and collectivizing and doing it will help, but we don't live in a collectivized world, and we're not going to anytime soon. We're not going to get some kind of people's fucking revolution, right? So we need to figure out how to keep ourselves as happy and engaged with the positives in the world as possible, right? Without, you know, being deluded to the fact that there is negative stuff going on. I'm not saying, you know, just walk around and just be like, oh, everything's so perfect, there's no problems going on anywhere, right? I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that you just kind of need to shut out a lot of the stuff that you can't control, that you can't fix, that you can't solve, because it's getting you down and it's not really relevant to you anyway. You've got problems of your own that you should be sorting out, but you're adding to those problems with this other random crap that, you know, the news and the media and the internet kind of feeds you. And a lot of it is also sort of, what's the word? Engaged, helped by your own biases from the things that you see, right? If you live on a council estate, your things that you see, your observations are going to give you an idea on what you're going to. I can't do this. I can't do it. The fuck? It's such a good shot as well, and I'm ruining it. I'm wasting it. This is shit. I'm going home.